Faces of Abortion is the only television program of its kind that shares the powerful real-life stories of women, men, and families who have suffered through the destruction of abortion. You will be hearing powerful stories from women and men and families throughout the nations. Faces of Abortion touches lives and changes hearts in over 115 nations. You will also be given practical steps on how you can end abortion.
So it just overwhelmed me. And I thought the only way to escape the pain was to take my life.
I had a fear that I wouldn't be able to have my own children.
It brings heartache. It brings hurt.
And I knew they were tearing my baby apart.
I remember the cold feeling of the room.
I remember laying there and I just said to myself that I will never forgive myself for what I'm doing.
I believe that my life was spared that night just so that I could be here right now and say abortion hurts women.
Welcome to Faces of Abortion. I'm your host, Cindy Collins, and I'd like to introduce my co-host, Alan Parker, President of the Justice Foundation, and Clayton Trotter, who's General Counsel of the Justice Foundation, and our special studio guest, Kay Lynn.
Cindy, in addition to Kay Lynn, we're also going to be hearing from Diane, and these two women are going to share with us their abortion experience. And people who've never gone through it are going to learn things that they could never have known unless they join us and watch this program.
Thank you, Alan. And now let's listen to Diane's story in her own words.
Hi, my name is Diane, and I am a post-abortive female, and I am the mother of 4 children. 2 are alive, and 2 died by my choice of abortion. And so I want to share a little bit about my experience and some of the irreversible effects that those choices made. I was the product of an adulterous affair between my mother and father, and never grew up with my father. And my mother died when I was 12 years old. And at that point, I went to live with my Christian grandparents and really didn't have much control, and my life kind of started spiraling downward and became very promiscuous, and I ended up pregnant when I was 15. At 15, I went to a Catholic maternity home and chose to have my baby, and I was given the option of the choices of how to keep it and not to abort it, and I chose life, and I chose to keep the baby. By the age of 19, I was pregnant again, and I was introduced to abortion. It was part of our society, and it was easy. All you had to do was go pay $300 to go to a medical clinic. They sat you down for 15 minutes and told me about, had me sign some papers, told me medical terms that I didn't have a clue what they meant, and said it would be over in an hour. And I paid the money, laid on the table. They performed a suction abortion, and I was out within 2 hours. And they were the medical experts. They told me that it wasn't a baby, but what I come to find out later was that after 21 days, my baby, my first child, had a heartbeat, and he had blood and arteries flowing through their veins, and through that process, my child died. I got married and was in an abusive relationship and got pregnant with my 3rd child after a suicide attempt, and chose to have him. And 3 months later, I found out I was pregnant again, and again, the option of abortion became an option of convenience. And again, I chose to go through the process, and again, it was just easy. It was too convenient, and I went to the clinic. I had the abortion. I paid my money, but this time, the guilt started coming, and the memories, and because I had 2 children, I began to bury it, and because of the abuse of relationship that I was going through, really put it away on a shelf and justified it that, you know, because I was in an abusive marriage and X, Y, and Z, that I really didn't have any other choice. And so I became very angry and didn't really grieve, hid it as a secret, and shame began to fill my life, and I began to hide things in other areas of my life, and made rash decisions. And anytime a hard choice came, I always looked for the easy way out. Addiction and self-hatred started rolling through my life. But then I found Christ through a church. I had hit the end of my rope, hit the bottom, and I found Christ. And through a process of cleansing and healing and studying the scriptures, and through the unconditional forgiveness that only He can offer, He began to reshape my life, and I began to examine all of the things that had bound me and a lot of the choices that I made. And even though they were irreversible from the standpoint of my children being able to come back, I was able to find peace with that. I was able to accept the forgiveness and hope that only Jesus Christ can offer. And through that, I found healing and I found wholeness, and I'm able to take my experience and my pain and say that there are choices of life that women that face the choice of whether to abort or carry the life to term and give that child a chance, there is hope through Jesus Christ. There are resources that are available. The effects of abortion are horrendous. They tell you about the medical procedures, but they don't tell you about the emotional scars. They don't tell you about the spiritual death that abortion brings. And I hope that whoever's listening can find forgiveness and hope through Jesus Christ and the forgiveness and options that He offers, because He said that I come that you may have life, and He gives it more abundantly. Thank you.
You've just heard Diane's powerful story, a story that gave lifelong regret of abortion. And we want to encourage you, if her story has touched your heart, to contact us on the toll-free helpline number or through the website at www.operationoutcry.org. You know, Alan and Clayton, I'm hearing that story of Diane, and again, we're hearing another story of a woman who has experienced much trauma from her decision to abort. And one of the things that I was hearing her say, Alan, was about the anger that had entered into her life. And I know as a post-abortive woman, that's something that I had to deal with and to release. And we hear it over and over again from women who have suffered through the trauma of abortion.
Mm-hmm. She said, I took the easy way out. And abortion is sold as the easy way out. This is the fix. This will get rid of your problem. And nobody told her about things like the anger. And if you haven't had an abortion, you think, well, why would you be angry? But when you realize you've killed your own child, you start getting angry at yourself. You can get angry at the man. You can get angry at people who didn't help you, didn't stop you, so you might be friends or relatives. There's all sorts of anger that starts coming up, and it's very damaging.
Well, and Alan, she also talked about spiritual death and a deadness that came into her life, and I can imagine she could even get angry at God, you know, that somehow He was involved in all of that, and He had this